Hello guys, this is Shayon and welcome to the Canvas Photography channel. So here we are discussing mostly about photography and any stuff related to photography. Previously I was doing some videos in Bengali, but many of my subscribers and followers have requested me to do videos in another language as well. So we are continuing with two languages. So each and every subject that we choose for a video will have two versions, one in English, another is in Bengali. So you can see the Bengali link somewhere here for this video. So today's subject is all about 5 myths of professional photography. So without any delay, let's get started. So the first myth I want to touch here is professional photographers are the best photographers. I would say it's partially correct, not entirely correct. There is no mandatory rule that every professional photographer has to be the best photographer in the market. But in most cases we encounter such people like that. But you have to understand the photography as a professional photography is somewhat different from doing photography for a hobby or for passion. It's a process of demand and supply. So you are working as a solution provider to any of your client. So just take an analogy of a doctor. So if you're feeling sick, you encounter some problem in your body that you cannot handle by yourself. So you go to a doctor, ask them whether they can help you out or not. Depending on their skill level, depending on their knowledge, they will give you some prescription drugs and everything. So you take that and you give them some visit. This is how a service works, a service oriented business works. So professional photography is something just like that. So your client comes to you with their problems and they want a solution for that. So it is all about you how efficiently, how effectively you can give the solution. So the second thing is expensive gears doesn't matter. So I would say it's absolutely false. I know I have seen many videos and many blog posts where I can see that people are saying that you don't need an expensive gear to be a photographer. I would rather say don't misunderstand that, because they are saying something very correct, but the context is something different. That what they are trying to say is, if you want to hone up your skill as a photographer, you want to pursue the art of photography, in those cases you don't need expensive equipment. But when you are doing professional photography, when you are earning money from that photography, you have to deliver, and you have to deliver very efficiently. So in that context, I think the professional gear matters the most, because all those gears are created in the professional scenarios in mind. A photographer had to work like 12 hours, 15 hours a day. So in that time, he has to have a equipment that is built quite good, and ergonomics has to be good, because you are holding that camera or holding that light for 14 hours, 15 hours. In that case, weight of the camera or like the handling of the camera matters a lot in that scenarios. See, amateur photographer can come to a shop and ask for a camera which is having Wi-Fi connection, Bluetooth connection, and as well as something else like 20, 24, 25 megapixels. These are some jargons that are designed for the professional, the consumer market. But the professionals don't even think about it. If you consider two cameras, I can give you an example. If you consider two cameras like Nikon 5200 or 3200 or and a Nikon D5, in those two cameras you can see the difference, that the 3200 have the Wi-Fi connection, have the something that Nikon have. I forgot those names, but those type of connections, as well as 24 megapixel, 26, 28, 30 megapixel cameras. But on the other hand, D5, it is having a monocoque chassis, which is rugged, which is big, and having a 20 megapixel sensor. But can you say that this camera is better than that? No, because that is actually, that D5 is actually designed for those photographers who need that kind of build quality, that kind of ergonomic, that kind of robustness into their job. It is designed for a wildlife photographer, a photojournalist who may be working in a war environment. In those kind of situations, you can encounter dust, you can encounter several days of rain, and your camera should work fine on that situation. So in those contexts, these are some of the things that professional equipment comes up. Those things matters the most in a real world scenario. So it is absolutely false that expensive gear doesn't matter. Whoever is telling you that, just look at into their camera bag, what camera they are using. They are not using anything so cheap. Third thing, the only thing matters are good photographs. So in this context, I would say that it is partially correct, not entirely correct, because see, 10 to 15, or I say 15 to 20% of your job that you do in a professional photography career is purely photography. Rest of the part is pure business. You have to understand that. You have to do your marketing, your sales, your accounting, customer relationship, market study, everything that you have to do, and all those things takes a substantial amount of time, and you need to spend a lot of time to know those things, to study those things. If you are not studying, you have to work for or work under some experienced photographer to understand how the business work, what is the what are the tools of the trade. So once you understand that, then you can come up into the real world of professional photography. So I won't say that only good photograph will matter. It is also that how those photographs, how you are delivering those photographs also matters in professional photography. Consistency is a big thing that plays into this market, because see, take an example of a cricketer who is who have scored like 200 runs in a match, but after that consequent 4 matches he played and got a score of like 15, 20 or 25 like that. So in that case, his consistency is not that good. But on the other hand, if you have a photographer who have a cricketer who is actually scoring 70 to 80 average in every match, and when that these two players are getting judged by a selector, the selector will always go for the consistent player, because he will have a confidence on that guy that if he they can plan with that player. If he put it in a situation, he can pull out the match. He have that confidence. But for that other player, other cricketer, on that context, I think he will not get that much of confidence, because he won't understand that when this player again score another 200. It's absolutely same with photography as well. So the fourth thing is more photographs translate good photographer. I say it depends actually, because what kind of photography you are doing, it absolutely dependent on that. If you are an event photographer, a photojournalist, or a sports photographer, in those scenarios you actually need to take a substantial amount of photographs. This is not because you are not a professional photographer, just because you don't know that event very well, because nothing is like you have done your homework, but something happening in front of your eyes and you don't have any control on that. So in those cases, I think if you take some more pictures, it will help you a little. But in other scenarios, if you're a fashion photographer or lifestyle photographer, in those cases I think you should stick to a certain amount of photographs that you take, because suppose you are going for a shoot for one of your clients, and he asked you to give 10 good quality fashion photos. So when you go for the shoot, you come back with 3000 photographs. You have to sort all these 3000 photographs, 3000 pictures, and take out the best 10 photos. That is a very, very difficult job, and it takes a lot of time, and you have to understand that professional photography is all about time and money. So the more time you spend on one photo, you are losing money. So it is like that way only. So this is one thing. Another point is, like, all our cameras has a shutter count. So wasting a shutter count is actually wasting your camera. So camera's full potential or life. So in that case, I would say that don't do those kind of things. Like I have seen people who tell themselves as landscape photographers, and when they are when they go for a shoot, I have seen people doing this, that they are in front of a mountain range and they are taking bus shots. It doesn't matter actually, because that mountain range is like there for 1 million years, and it will be there for next 1.5 million years. So it will be there. You don't have to take burst mode photographs for that. So that is another point. And the third thing I would say on this context is, like sometimes you end up confusing your client with all these photographs, because suppose you give those 3000 photographs to your client and tell them to choose choose 10 photographs from that and give it to you so that you can do the post processing, and your client will say that, sorry boss, I can't do it because I cannot sort from these 3000 pictures. So like that, so I would say study your genre of photography, and if it requires that amount of photos, you are always good to go. But if you don't need that kind of shutter play, then just stop it. Don't need to overdo anything. Okay, so by that we have landed at the fifth point, which is like 10 to 5 jobs seems better. And in this context, I would say I totally agree with that, because running a photography business and being a professional photographer is not a matter of joke. You have to have a potential to handle that much of stress, because you are running your own business, you are your own brand. In that context, you have to handle everything that a brand need or a business need, and you have to do it single-handedly. Maybe nobody will be there to help you out until and unless you end up into a professional grade where you can afford some, or you can hire someone who can do your job. Other than that, you have to do it by yourself. So that is a substantial amount of responsibility that you have to take. You have to take a lot of stress, you have to take a lot of pressure from your client. So you have to have you have to have a backbone that can withstand that kind of pressure. And one more thing, many people are thinking that right now professional photography is having good money. Yes, I would say it is having good money rather than what we used to earn like 10-25 years back, but still it depends on your skill, and to hone up the skill to be a good professional photographer, it takes time. If you see some some very renowned photographers in professional sector, you can see that those people are working for last 25, 30 or 40 years, and that's how they have earned that that skill, that style. So it takes time. So if you are not passionate about photography and you are just want to do this for earning, then I would say you should not come into this sector, because one way or the other, in next few years you will be getting frustrated and you will regret on your decision. I don't want any of you to end up such a way. So don't do this. Consult with your family and take a cool mind and do whatever is needed to be done with your career. So that's all for today. I think you have liked our video. If you have liked it, just click on the like button. If you want to subscribe our channel, there is a subscribe button just right this below, and the bell button was there. I think it is still there. Yeah. Okay, so you have to click that button, and by doing that you will get the notification whenever we upload a new video. So that's all, guys. Right now, a pandemic situation, you know, that COVID-19 pandemic situation is going on, and mostly in India, many places are been locked down. So I would request all of you, whoever it is, however, if you are from India or outside India, if you are having that kind of scenarios in your country, then you should stay back at home. Do not take risk of getting out. That risk actually propagate to you and as well as to your family. So don't do such kind of things. Stay healthy, stay safe. That's all for today. See you around. Bye bye.